Our ancestors were really good at reading people because if they didn't know who was friend or who was foe, they would be dead. It's as simple as that.
Dr. Lillian Glass is taking a stroll on the Santa Monica Pier. She's a body language and communications expert, here to do some people watching.
The body doesn't lie. You can't fool people unless you're a phenomenal actor. Body language can tell you so much. She absolutely adores him. And, you know, he's not really giving her much communication. He's very much aloof. And you can see she's really cornered him, literally. She'd like a lot more than he's giving. And she's pulling on his shirt. She really wants to get attention. They've disconnected. She's gone over to the side, her head is down, and it's not happening. And she's resigned herself to just look at the ocean. There's not a lot of bonding there. There's not touching, there's not communication. So there's some tension in that relationship. When I look at people, I look at the whole person. I don't just look at one thing. One of the things I look for is how close do the couple stand to one another? Also, how are their toes pointed? If your toes are pointed in the direction of your partner, chances are that you're in good shape. They absolutely adore one another. It's such a kind of a beautiful dance to watch this couple. They're really connected. They're absolutely in sync. He kisses her forehead with such love and affection and tenderness. And they look right into each other's eyes. Very, very enamored with him and vice versa. How long have you two been together?
A year.
A year. And has it always been this beautiful and,
Yes,
and like
are.
a dance?
Yes.
How did you two meet?
In a company.
A company you work together?
Yes.
And you just fell in love?
Yes.
Research is led by forensic psychologist Dr. Stephen Porter. His team studies the way people interact and the different ways we try to deceive each other.
Liars or insincere individuals are expected to fidget a lot. They're expected to look very nervous, maybe shift around in their seat. And scientifically, the real tells are the opposite of that.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again.
So if you watch Bill Clinton, for example, in his denial of having sex with Miss Lewinsky, he's burning holes through people in the audience. He's picking particular individuals and he's just staring them down.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
If we look at his nonverbal behavior as well as his verbal behavior during that claim, he comes across as extremely convincing, as extremely sincere.
I never told anybody to lie.
Whether he's a trained liar, we don't know, but he's certainly a very skilled liar.
Not a single time, never.
He conveys anger and hostility at the idea that anybody was thinking he was even lying.
These allegations are false.
He's using this thing we call an illustrator very, very effectively.
And I need to go back to work for the American people.
It's an intimidation tactic, it's a power and control thing, and it's an attention grabber.
Thank you.
Human beings lie to one another on average 1 to 2 times per day. If you have a pair of human strangers who interact, within 10 minutes they're lying to each other on average 3 times. And so we see deception, in everyday life, little white lies, all the way up to more high-stakes lies. But it's a really fundamental aspect of social interaction. So our research group decided to undertake the largest scale study of high-stakes deception ever conducted. And that entailed collecting videos from all over the world of people pleading for the return of a missing relative. So in 2008, Carissa Boudreau in Nova Scotia went missing, and her mother, Penny Boudreau, gave an impassioned plea to the public to try to assist in finding her missing daughter.
So, please determine if the individual in the following video is being
The
honest.
Boudreaux video is used to teach some fundamentals about body language.
I'll leave the room throughout your discussion, and please let me know when you're finished, and I will return and hear your verdict.
Your grandparents are looking for you. All of us are. I don't know where you are, but just come home or call or something, please. And all your friends are looking for you, and we're all worried. We just want you home safe.
Thank you for coming today.
She looked distressed, clearly.
Yeah.
She was crying a lot.
Were they real tears?
Of course they were. She was wiping them.
Yeah, you got a point there. She was wiping them right off.
Her voice was cracking.
Yeah, very true.
It was really
She was
sad.
exhausted.
I don't think you would go on national TV if you were lying. I just don't think you would.
I don't know where you are, but just come home or call or something.
So the interesting thing about the Penny Boudreaux video is that she shows a classic sign of emotional deception. She is attempting to appear distressed because her daughter is missing, but she's not showing an engagement of the distressed muscles, which are the corrugators, in between the eyes, which generally when somebody is distressed, they go together and up. The deceptive pleaders generally are unable to engage those muscles, and they end up looking more like a deer in the headlights. They look surprised.
I took her for a drive that day just to try to have a heart-to-heart with her in a place, like in a car she can't get away and slam her door, which she usually does to me.
In this frame and a couple of frames after it, Penny displays hostility both in her facial expression and in the words she uses and her tone of voice, indicating that she's still very upset, angry with Carissa for one reason or another. She doesn't want the world to know that she's feeling that, but it's coming out involuntarily.
Can I ask you what this has been like as a mother?
Penny responds to the question from the interviewer with a flash of anger and hostility. She knows that her daughter is dead. The interviewer is asking questions that are getting a little too close to home.
Porter shared his team's insights with police investigators. The police then switched the focus of their investigation to Penny Boudreaux herself.
Eventually they got information that she had in fact murdered her daughter because her boyfriend, the suspect, had mentioned one day he didn't think he was ready to be a father.
Thank you.
People really reveal themselves when you stop and look and decipher what's really going on. And we don't do that enough.
I've learned that nonverbals are more accurate than the spoken word. That's true. But I think my family would tell you there is a burden when you can read people with exactitude. And you see things even before they see them. You see marriages falling apart months in advance. That's hard.